Hi. You know what won't hit you in the face with a bag of spaghetti? Today's sponsor, Wix. Oh.
When I first got out of college, I had to make a portfolio for my illustrations and animations to apply for jobs. They don't want to see your grades, they want to see your portfolio. With Wix, you can make websites for your portfolio, businesses, and even your very own online store. Wix makes it super simple for you to make your very own website. No matter how much or how little knowledge you have when it comes to building websites, Wix has it covered. You can choose from thousands of templates and customize the templates to your own liking. For real though, I've been getting back into illustration lately, so I decided to make a little illustration portfolio that you can check out. It literally took me a couple of minutes to make. When it comes to websites, I love websites with super clean designs, so those templates came in clutch. Just fixed up some small things here and there, and voila! I have my website. Eventually, I'm gonna turn it into a little store so you can get my art prints from there. Just a warning, there's going to be cats. Lots of cats. Cats everywhere. But in the meantime, while I'm making stuff for the store, wink wonk, wink wink wonk, you might want to check out Wix. Just click the link in the descriptions down below or just go to wix.com/go/CypherDen to get started on making your very own website today. Thanks again to Wix for sponsoring this video. There once was a scary old man who just happened to be my neighbor. And one day I might have almost burned down his house. Hi, my name is CypherDen, and I do not have a problem. Nope, no problem here. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't freak out. Everything's under control. So, here's the problem. When I was younger, me and my cousins lived in the same neighborhood in the Philippines, and over the weekend, we'd go outside and play. And sometimes our volleyball would fall into our neighbor's yard. And you're probably like, Den, just go get the ball, stupid. Our neighbor lived all alone in his old wooden house that had no electricity. We'd only see candles moving through the windows at night. He had this big yard, but he never cut the grass, so the grass grew and grew. He even had a small pond that surrounded his house, kind of like a mini moat. Except the pond wasn't really the cleanest of all ponds, and it was the Philippines, so the pond was more like stagnant water, because it flooded a lot where we lived, so that was probably filled with bacteria and all kinds of diseases. And if you touched that water, you'd probably be infected with stupidity and death. Or touching that possibly deadly water can turn you into a ninja turtle and you'll have superpowers that makes you glow in the dark? Ano? Wait, don't touch that water, huh? Why? I no touch water. Ay nako, don't touch that water. Di nakikinig eh. Look, oh, no touch. Anak ng toko naman, no? See, no touch. Go. I was like 7. I didn't really drink the water. I wasn't that dumb. Maybe a little. A couple of times, a random plastic bag would randomly fly out of my neighbor's window all the way from the second floor towards us. The plastic bag would explode on impact and food would splatter all over us. Other times, the plastic bags would hit our faces. So we'd get hit with a plastic bag full of spaghetti or chicken wings or just rice. How do you even explain that to anyone? Like, yeah, my neighbor just throws a warm bag of spaghetti at the kids whenever he's bored. What? Anyways, one day, all the other kids were napping, and I didn't really take naps because I was such a cool kid. And I also took sips of my dad's coffee whenever he wasn't looking, so I couldn't really sleep in the first place. Which kind of backfired because I had nothing better to do. So I decided that this was the day that I was going to become the best of the best engineer of the paper planes. It sounded way cooler in my head back then, but boy, I was gonna be the best. I wanted to make the perfect paper plane. I made planes that went completely straight, paper planes that twirled in the air. I also made one that right when it was about to land, it would fly backwards and then forwards into the smoothest of all landings. I even took a plastic bag, cut it up, then got some string and tried to tape it onto my plane so it could have a parachute. But then I kind of found out that it just flies straight down to the floor, even with a parachute. Lots of trials and error. Well, I was drawing flames on one of my paper planes because I obviously had to customize them. My super crazy imagination went, wouldn't it be just so cool if the paper plane had a flamethrower? Good thing I didn't really know how to build a flamethrower yet, so I did the next best thing, which was set the paper plane on fire. Okay, a lot of my decisions when I was younger weren't really the smartest decisions ever. Obviously, the first time I set my paper plane on fire, well, I panicked. I was literally holding paper that was just burning in my hands. So I might have chucked the burning paper into my neighbor's moat. Except, a little miscalculation happened. The paper plane did not, I repeat, did not hit the water. I chucked it a little too hard and panicked, and the paper plane instead decided to hit the big giant area of grass. Have you ever felt that time has stopped for a second? Your whole world is collapsing in front of you because of this one mishap, and you know for damn sure that it was 100% your fault and there's no going back. Yeah, that was the moment that I knew that fireplane was a terrible idea. In panic, I went into pure chaos mode, grabbed a pail, jumped over the wall fence, and into the death mode. It sounds all cool and heroic, but in all honesty, thankfully, I only burnt down a small patch of grass. To apologize to my super scary neighbor, I ran back home and got my stash of mangoes. Yes, I had a stash of mangoes because I didn't like sharing my mangoes because I love mangoes. But you know, this was a good exception, right? So I knocked on my neighbor's door soaked in disgusting green pond water with a bag of mangoes while sobbing in fear. I was a mess. I'm sorry that I burned your grass. I'm sorry, but I brought you some mangoes. I hope you can forgive me. He looked at the grass and then back at me, and before he could say a word, I dropped the mangoes and I ran away. I straight up ran away and ran back into my house. Let me show you how dumb that looked. So I do this thing where I smile whenever I'm scared or nervous by instinct. Whenever I would see my neighbor, I would smile and nod and wave, and I think I kind of creeped them out because can you imagine a kid trying to burn your lawn down and then just smiles and waves at you on a daily? After doing this for a while, I guess he just kind of got used to it, and I just stopped being scared of him. I think he forgave me for burning his grass because every time I'd see him on Christmas, he'd give me like $5. I'd smile, say thank you, and just run away. I don't know, I just ran away all the time. The flying bags of food, you may ask. When I got older, I found out that he was actually living with his sister who was bedridden this whole time. She didn't have much of an appetite, so she would wrap up her food and throw it at kids thinking that we would eat her unfinished food. What? It was sweet, but for many, many years growing up, we just didn't know, and we thought that our neighbor just hated us, and he was just this mean and grumpy old man. But that wasn't really the case.
Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that video. I just fell off my chair, so that's always fun. I should comb my hair, but I'm not gonna do it. So, hope I can actually make this a more frequent thing. I get to say goodbye to you guys. You guys get to see my face, and I get to fall off my chair. And with that said, I'll see you guys later, and bye-bye-bye.